Cookies. Well, if you're new here, I'll let you know what that means. My name is Carolyn Gray. The community is called Cookies. We come in all different forms and shapes and sizes and flavors, and that's what it is. That's how the cookie crumbles on this side of the channel, okay? And we love to talk about all things in and around fashion, lifestyle, and we like to have a good old kiki and giggle here and there. We like to have a good time. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave, because you know you want to stick around. Anyway, so recently I have started a YouTube membership that is geared to help those who need a lot of assistance in their personal styling journey, as well as wanting to learn more about being a content creator and how to navigate this industry. For this month alone, I am going to show what exactly that's going to look like on that side of the cookie jar as far as memberships are concerned, so you can kind of understand what it's going to vibe like. Every month there's going to be focuses. I have a whole curriculum for the rest of the year, just because there's so much to talk about within this space, especially in the content creation space, and how to navigate different conversations, how to pitch yourself, how to build your network, how do you create a media kit, how do you rate yourself, all those things. And, you know, I've been doing this seriously for the last 2 years, but I've been in fashion styling for the last 20, okay? So there's a lot of things that I've learned from the past and those experiences, and there are a lot of things that I'm learning as we're going, and I'm like, I can't gatekeep all this stuff as I'm learning. Like, ain't no way. I can't hold water, you know what I'm saying? So this is just like basically a way for you to understand how the membership is going to look and feel like if you decide to join. And just so I put it out there, if you don't decide to join, if this is not your thing that you need, that's perfectly fine. Nothing's going to change on this side of the cookie jar. Still going to be posting every Sunday and Wednesday, okay? So don't you fret. We're still going to have a good time on both sides. It's just that side is a lot more educational, because we still do a lot of education friendly things over here, but it's a little bit more in depth. You know, I got a syllabi over there. Anyway, I got a syllabi over here too. I just plan I'm a Virgo. I plan everything. So let's get into what this month's focus is when it comes to content creation. And there'll be another video where I do personal styling questions that you guys asked me. I'll be answering in that second video. So there's 2 videos and 1 live stream every month on the membership side. So this month I really wanted to dive into mindset, different things that you guys gotta like check off on, that I kind of wish someone would have had a conversation with me early on before I started doing content creation for work, and how I would have liked to know some of these things to just better navigate some of the bumps along the road. But I have everything noted, and we did talk about this in the live stream, but this one is just a little bit more in depth. But when it comes to mindset, guys, first of all, this is just an overall best mental practices that I've learned along the way to ensure growth, to ensure healthy relationships, and consistency while working in the content creation and influencing space. The number one thing that you have to have when you're doing this is having a clear mind. When starting in this space, it's important to have a clear mind so you can create a clear vision for what you want, where you want to go with this whole situation, where do you want this journey to take you, and also your intent behind everything. It's okay to do it for the money. Yes, there's a lot of money to be made. I probably haven't even scratched the surface when it comes to the non-limitations of how much you can make in this space. But yeah, it's nice, but I don't know if wanting to do it just for the money is going to carry you for far and long, especially when it comes to the creativity aspect of it all. Sorry, Carlos had walked in and we had a lot of background noise. But anyway, yeah, so when it comes to having the mindset of doing this just for money, like your creativity might run a little dry from time to time, right? And also it does kind of reflect authenticity or just who you are truly. So really think about why you're getting into this and exactly what you want to share with the community and what type of impact you want it to have on folks. And yeah, if you do just want to build a community It doesn't have to be a groundbreaking reason why to be in the space, but just having solely money on the mind, it could be a little tricky. But when you really want to build a relationship with people, when you want to have experiences or share experiences or be vulnerable in front of this camera, it does have a very impactful impression on folks. And having a clear mind while doing this just means that you're grounded in the work that you do. And I'm not trying to be funny at all. I'm a big advocate of going to therapy. Just checking in with a therapist or someone like a life coach that can just kind of give you feedback, to be a sounding board off of the ideas and concepts that you have, or how you show up online, and that you never really second guess yourself. It's imperative to have some form of therapy mixed into this work where you can check in with someone else to make sure that you're grounded. And if therapy is going to church or meditating or writing poetry, any of those methods of therapy, tap into it just to make sure that you're always grounded. You have to have a clear mind. You have to have a good intent behind what you're doing and what you're choosing to share. Because at the end of the day, if you're rooted there, it's always going to be abundant in all kinds of experiences, finances, yes, but also relationships, friendships, and your community pours into you tenfold when you have a clear mind and vision and impact. Another thing that kind of goes into mindset of being a content creator is having no judgment. No judgment of yourself specifically. No judgment of other people. But I know what happens. We're going to judge. We're going to look at things. We're going to judge. But really not having a lot of judgment towards yourself, because when it comes to creating and posting, you have to really be honest with yourself. And creating things and holding it is a real thing. Like, you can create content and then you could choose to like hold it and not post it for God knows how long. People that say I'm emptying out the drafts, it's a real thing. Like, we have videos in our drafts from months ago, and for whatever reason we're like, oh, I don't like how I look in that video, I don't like the lighting, I don't like the background, what did I say, and that voiceover didn't sound right. It's so much judgment. But really, once you empty out your draft clip, you realize how much greatness is in there, and a lot of people will resonate and connect with what we're thinking too much about. No judgment allows you to post and look for the areas of opportunities to grow, to continue to do or not to do, or just change directions. When you are an open book in a certain sense, because you can choose to share certain things and you can choose to keep things to yourself. The thing about being online, people are always going to assume that they know you because of what you choose to share, but there's so many layers to a person. So it comes with some good and some bad things with sharing vulnerably on these platforms. But listen, when you have no judgment, you can relate to so many more people and they can relate to you, and that creates the trust and the bond that builds your tribe. And it's something about trying in public that's a big topic of discussion within the creative space right now. It's like there's something about, I may not have all the best tools, or I may not have the best background, but as time grows and I grow and my money grows and I can reinvest into this work, my audience will see me grow and try all the time, and they're going to really be rooting for you every step of the way. Growing in your posting style and your consistency, the ability to make a mistake and not feel shame, or to say I'm nervous in front of the public, but I'm excited to learn and do this more, that is really important to show. It actually creates a lot of trust. It shows humanity, and therefore you're relatable. Do not pass judgment on yourself. Create and post it, and then engage in the comments. Okay, so there's a topic of family bonds, right? And the first thing I want to say about family or friends, first and foremost, stop having expectations on other humans. Humans are complex. They have many layers to them. You never know what someone's going to do until they show you who they are. When you set expectations on other people, you will most of the time be disappointed. When you have no expectations on other people, you will always be surprised, and whether it's pleasant or negative. But when it comes to family bonds, half of the time when you're becoming a content creator, your friends and family will not understand what the hell you're doing. it is a very far removed concept for a lot of people. And to many, it's just like, oh, you're just taking pictures. Oh, you're just recording stuff on TikTok and going about your day. Like, who cares? There will be situations where you feel like your friends and family do not support what you're doing. At the end of the day, even when you have a product or a service-based business, and this is a business, you creating content, it is a business. Most of the time, your first customers will not be your friends or your family. Sometimes you're lucky. I had it lucky. When I started New Our Bud, I had a lot of friends and family support me right out the gate because I was testing everything on them, so it was a little bit different. So I included my family in a certain way, and I got a great response from it. So I really feel like when it comes to friends and family, you let them know what you're doing. Inform them on what you're trying to do, what your goals are with this. Ask them if they want to be a part of the background imagery or not. And if not, sometimes it's a little bit better when people choose to tell you like, no, I don't want to be in your content, like keep me out, keep my kids out type of thing. It's a lot less to manage when it comes to editing things or creating the full story. And also sometimes when working with other brands, legally it works out when you don't include other people in the content that you're doing, because there's just like a whole lot of other stuff. Like I remember I did a campaign and they were like, if anyone is in the background of your work, you need to get a NDA or a signature from them that says that they're okay with them being a part of this video. And I'm like, dang, that's a lot. Like, but you just have to think about those things. But yeah, friends and family, you are lucky if you have a friend, if you have a group behind you that really supports everything that you're doing. If they don't, even if they don't fully understand, but even if they do understand, it's a blessing to have that. And if you don't, listen, you cannot be posting for them. You will create a whole other family that will pour back into you because of trust and just being vulnerable and sharing you and being you than you would ever imagine. Like I always look at my community, the cookies, and I'm just like, yo, they're so dope. Like they're so dope. My family and friends are so dope as well. Don't get it twisted. But there are times where I know some people enter this space and they don't have that type of support, and you just got to keep it pushing. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? If they don't support you, your tribe will find you. Another thing that comes to mindset is the idea of sacrificing. You have to sacrifice a lot, okay? Let me read off my notes because y'all know how I am with my notes, okay? There are certain aspects of this field that you will have to sacrifice a few things for. Sleep, socializing, unless it has to do with work. Like unless it's part of the content, you might have to sacrifice some socializing. And even sacrificing laziness. Yes, I know. Plenty of us love to have those moments where we just don't do anything. We are ragged and tired and we don't want to do anything, right? And I get that. Your brain has to vibe out from time to time. But there will be days where you do not want to put in the work towards this career, but you have to. You have to fight against it. You have to do the work. You have to do the research to prepare for a video. You have to do location scouting. You have to do some shopping, some styling, some pitching. You have to do the prep for the content space. And you have to create the content. You have to suck that shit up. Sometimes you don't want to do it and you have to suck it up. And I get it. If you have a 9-to-5, that 9-to-5 might drain you. But really no. If you truly love this work and you truly feel like this is escape for your creativity to flow, you will be looking forward to getting off of work and to create something. At least dedicate 1 to 2 hours every day after work towards this space that you want to be a part of. If you have a 9-to-5, sure, you may want to rest up afterwards, but instead it's best to record a few things. Go to a networking event or plan your content out for an hour or two after getting off of work. Like batch your stuff after work, or get what happened to me this day, or what I wore this day, how this made me feel at this meeting, or X, Y, and Z. Like get the work done despite how you're feeling. Because at the end of the day, consistency doesn't come from motivation. It comes from just getting that shit done. So you're going to have to sacrifice wanting to lay down half of the time to get this work done, okay? And you're going to have to sacrifice maybe hanging out with people that don't really feed into what you're trying to do from time to time. You know what I mean? Like some friends and family that don't want to be recorded or don't want to be around this stuff with you. then all right, I'm not going to be able to play poker with y'all tonight. I have to do some content. They tease you about it. Okay, that's fine. These checks won't tease you. Okay then. So the other thing when it comes to consistency, it rolls right into consistency after having some sacrifice. This comes with planning. It comes from making up your mind and saying, I'm going to get I'm going to get out of my own way with my self-limiting beliefs and habits. It's trying without shame. It's posting even though it's not at your standard of perfection, which we can drive ourselves crazy with the idea of perfection. It's actually haunting. The same way that you can clock in and out for someone else's job or someone else's business and you're not clocking into your own, that's disrespectful to yourself. You know that, right? Okay. But you have to decide a day and a time to do the work that you want to do for yourself, batch content, or to film a YouTube episode. Decide that you will post it on a very specific day at a very specific time. And like I said, this consistency thing has nothing to do with motivation, has everything to do with making up your mind and willing through the days where you really just feel out of it, disconnected, because it is actually worth it. So when it comes to consistency, you make up your mind. Anything that gets in your way, you slap that baby to the side and you say, listen, I got to do this. You have to force this support from time to time when it comes to timing or needing the space. Carlos knows I was filming. I told him, listen, it's either you're in the house or you're out the house, but I got to get this video done. He said, I'm going to go get some gas and I'm come back. Yeah, you do that because I'm not going to let you distract what I'm doing today. I have an hour to do this. I'm going to get it done. I have another hour to edit this. I'm going to get it done by any means necessary. You have to make up your mind and have that Malcolm X mentality by any means necessary to get the work done, to get the goals taken care of. That's it. That's the formula to consistency. Get the fuck out your way. Get out your way and get the shit done. I can't say it no other way. People always say, how do you get consistent? How do you get consistent? Because I made up my mind. I said, I want this. And nothing will get in my way. Being sick, lifing, what my computer, my laptop's acting up. Well, I go find another laptop. I'm going to Apple. I'm downloading my shit and I'm doing it in Apple. That's how you get consistency. You made up your mind, and when your mind is made up, nobody will get in your way. It's a very passionate thing for me. As you can see, it makes me very riled up. Because I had issues with consistency too, and I really regret allowing myself to hold myself back. But it wasn't until I made that decision. I was like, you know what? I want this. I'm going to get it any way I can. Without hurting anyone, obviously. I didn't really mean to swipe the kid to the side, but you know what I'm saying. All right. The next thing, pick your friends wisely in this space. Listen, I have my friends from 20 years plus, okay? I have my good group of friends, my sisters from other misters, my brothers from other mothers. I have a good group of friends, but obviously, when you get into this space, you're going to be meeting a lot of people all the time. You're going to be networking with all the people. And I really do think follow your gut with every situation. There are people that are just going to be associates, and that's okay. You see them when you see them. There are other people that you're going to be talking to, texting, sharing information hey, I got this job. Are you on this campaign? How much did you charge them for your stuff? There's going to be people that you're going to be able to trust, and there's going to be people that you'll just keep arm's length distance, and that's okay. This is work. The same way you go to work and them people ain't all your friends, same shit with this. This is work too. So choose your networks wisely. Make sure that you feel comfortable, that you feel safe with them, that you can create with them, or just, you're going to need people that can relate to you within being behind the camera and doing all the things. Because at the end of the day, when you become a content creator at first, for many people, or you choose to do this, some people don't have an agent, don't have a manager, all the things, but you're pitching yourself, you're styling yourself, you're photographing yourself, you're recording yourself, you're putting your scripts together, you're outlining content for the next month, you are talking to people about a contract that a lawyer should be reviewing, but you got to break it down to yourself and put that shit in ChatGPT. Break it down for yourself if you don't understand all the things. Say, Chat, put this in layman terms. What the hell are these people telling me about? What are they talking about? Usage? What is this? Ask Chat help you out, or find a lawyer friend that can give you some advisement. But you're going to need people within this space that you can be like, girl, or oh my God, boo, like this is not working out. I feel wild. Am I crazy? Is this normal? But then there are going to be people who are not your friends. And when you feel that gut feeling, follow it. Don't ignore it. Don't allow yourself to be like, I'm going to prove myself wrong with that little gut feeling I had. No, you're going to prove yourself right. And then you're going to feel like boo-boo the fool, because then you're going to be like, well, I don't know how I'm going to be next time I see them, because that shit that they did was shady. It happens just like it does in regular life. It happens in this world too. So be careful and always trust your gut when it comes to creating relationships or not. One other thing that I think is really important to talk about, that I feel like people get really uncomfortable with this. You cannot help yourself and not compare yourself. Because here's the thing. When you're creating content, or you're trying to come up with a different concept of how you want to present, or you need some inspiration, you're going to look at other content creators to get some type of understanding of what people are talking about, what's hype right now, what's the conversation that we're all having. Who's their videographer? Or, oh, I want to shoot there too. That's a really nice background. It just makes the outfit jump. Like, you're going to look at different things and pick out different elements to help you create what your swag is, right? And when this happens, sometimes we get a little jealous. We get a little envious. We get a little in our heads about things. We second guess ourselves. And let me tell you this. There's a certain level of jealousy that is very dangerous, where you're like, how they get that? Where's the money coming from? What's this? That is dangerous. Do not ever allow yourself to become that person, because it gets very dark and your blessings will stop. Okay? And people smell it on you. When jealousy is on you in a funky way, people smell it. So be very careful, because envy is actually could be a healthy tool. It's a healthy tool to use for motivation. And here's an idea. Okay. What did I write down for my envy note? Okay, I wrote down, use it as a benchmarker or a form of inspiration on your mental mood board. And whatever you envy, make sure it's something you would want but cater to your life and needs and swag. For example, I want an Hermes bag. Like, I see all the girls with their Birkin bags. I love it, right? But instead of me being like, how do they get all the money for it? I've decided I'm working super hard. I'm building my Hermes relationship with my sales associate. Me and him are friends. And I'm going to manifest them offering me something very specific that I don't see a lot of girls with. I want a suede. I'm not going to tell you what color. Okay, I'll tell you the color. I want a suede Kelly green, Kelly cut Hermes bag. And that's the thing. I may not want a Birkin like that, but I like the swag that they have with that bag. And I know that they worked hard for it. So you know what? I'm going to motivate myself. I'm going to get this coin. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to build the relationship. And I'm going to get the bag that would work for me. You see what I'm saying? It's not envy necessarily. It's really just more motivation. I'm just like, I want that bag. I want a bag too. So use the envy to positively motivate you to get what you want, that you see other people have, but just in your way, that caters to your life. Use envy. It's a good tool, but be very careful, because it gets vicious and people can smell that shit on you. You don't want to be a hater that everyone notices in the video. Okay. The last thing I wanted to mention is giving credit when it's due. Obviously, when you are creating, and like I said, you're looking at other creators just to see like, what's the vibe? How can I spin off something? Like, what's the energy giving? Like, oh, what are we talking about for spring? Like, you're always going to look at other content creators, because we love each other too. Like, listen, before we were content creators, we were viewers and consumers of other people's content. That's how we got the inspiration to do this to begin with. There's nothing wrong with looking at each other's stuff, right? But there is everything wrong when you're not actually giving credit when it's due. When you see someone create a specific series, or you see someone buying a specific item that was really, no one saw it, no one knew about until this content creator spoke of it. Tell the people, like, oh my God, I saw Tashira talking about this. Oh my God, Janae did this, and I really thought I could do my own spin on this concept. Give the credit back. It doesn't matter if the person is bigger than you as far as following or has just began their journey. Give credit due. And if someone is actually not has a big of a following as you do or other people, showcase them. Bring that person into your tribe. Let your tribe know about them. What's wrong with that? I think it's very odd when people do that. I think it's mean. I think it's gatekeeping. And especially when it comes to people of color in this space, we have to really look out for one each other. So if you're not highlighting someone that you admire for their style or you got an idea from, like I said, no one likes to be the hater because everyone's going to see it. So give credit when it's due. And just remember, make a note. Say, listen, I saw this concept. Show it on your screen or tag their stuff in the description. Mention it. If you can't remember it in the moment, because that happens too when you're recording and you don't want to keep looking at your notes for everything. You're like, oh my God, this person inspired me to do this. I'm going to put up their name and their page right here so you guys can see. At least do that. You know what I'm saying? You're human. You might forget here and there, but as you're editing, add it in there. You know what I'm saying? But just be thorough with that. But at the end of the day, listen, making up your mind and being fucking relentless about achieving your goals is one thing, but having a clear mind and being grounded in who you are and why you're creating is very imperative for this type of work. Because when it comes to having conversations, navigating different campaigns or partnerships or creating friendships, you want to be grounded. You want to understand your why all the time. So you don't get lost in this because you can lose yourself pretty easily. It's a lot of imagery. It's a lot of vanity. It's a lot of shallow shit. You know, it can happen real bad. But once you're grounded, you can just continuously be in a space of gratitude for what you're doing and how you're connecting with people, and you will never lose sight of what you're doing. But yeah, those are the different things that I want you guys to keep in mind when it comes to being in this space and what type of mindset to have and to remain healthy and safe in your creative mode. But yeah, I thought that this would be a good way to start the memberships content creation focus series, because you have to start from a great foundation, and having a clear mind and understanding what you're doing is the most important piece. And then everything flows and grows together. I hope you guys enjoyed my spiel about mindset as a content creator. And I hope it helped you and gave you some insight or gave you some things to think about and, you know, really look into. If you feel like you skipped over something for yourself, don't skip the details, sis. Get back in there. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. And also I will leave the link for joining in the description below as well. You can cancel at any time if you feel like it doesn't work for you. It's $14.99 a month. But yeah, there will be a lot of gems being dropped over there that I just think, yeah, you gotta have it. So I'll see y'all in the next episode, cookies. Y'all have a good rest of the day and week, month, all the things, wherever you are.